It is Monday, June the 28th, 2022. I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul, Monday edition. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And we have an amazing lineup this week for you. Today I have with me the energy of a being by the name of Hermes Trismegistus. And the subject is, can we alter our DNA as an act of our will? I'm adding that last little bit. He just said, can we, he's going to talk about, can we alter our DNA? And he says, absolutely, 100%. This was something that was actually normal and natural in the beginning days of human records. Going back about 72,000 years, when humans first began to really get caught up in the world. Prior to that, we were able to alter and change our physical appearance quite easily and readily, which is why we see so many mythical examples of creatures that are mythical, like unicorns and centaurs and different beings like that, dragons, because as a soul, as an awareness, humans had the ability to alter their physical structure as an act of will. And we were talking about this a little earlier. Norm and I were talking with him, and he's saying this was something that was perfectly natural and normal to do. That began to get lost in the last 24,000 years, when humans began to get based more in the external environment, more on survival than on their capacity to alter and change their physical structures. Conditions existed on the planet that he says they had records of. Conditions existed on the planet that made it very difficult for the physical body to survive. So they went into manipulating and changing physical reality with the physical bodies rather than holding on to their ability to change their DNA as an act of will. They got into survival. They got pulled out into the environment so that the environment distracted and pulled them away from their own inner capabilities. Fear began to dominate and become prominent in consciousness, which diminished the fearlessness that naturally comes with the responsibility of knowing that you can create anything you want. But it is your science is now beginning to slowly consider the possibility that altering DNA is possible for the individual. You see very diminutive examples of that today, very light shadows of what once was very normal and very natural. You see the changes in your species in what you call diversity. These are all effects of an innate knowing that you have the capability to alter and change your DNA. Manifestations such as sexuality, the gender you call it, the different forms on the planet are effects of souls that got entrapped in one expression or another. But the natural capability to alter and change your DNA remains within you. You are able to do this. It would require a significant amount of training, but it can still be recultivated as a natural way of changing your body's expression. Form follows your consciousness. Your consciousness does not follow the form. It's very interesting to watch how you have been so trapped in the need for changing the outside world to modify your inside world, when originally you arrived here knowing that you were creating a world. You were able to manifest and manufacture change as a consequence of how you used your consciousness, how you used your imaginings, how you understood that your nature as creating beings had no limits to it. But now you find yourselves believing that the conditions of matter have a greater authority over you than you do over it. but you are aspiring to return back to that. But physical manipulation alone will not return you to that power. It will simply take you further from it. The actual manipulating of the physical structures through mechanical means will not return you to the natural ability you have to alter and change the genetic structuring in your body. As I said, though, the amount of concentration that is necessary to reactivate your authority over this primary structure of matter, I might add too that this function of ability to be able to articulate a change over the function of matter on the genetic level could be considered angelic to a degree, in that the angelic consciousness recognizes that it is not bound by matter, that matter is subjective to it. And that the divine in turn understood this as well and articulated the expressions of what you call angels and archangels and other such elevated beings in its own image, imparting onto them the natural ability it had to be limitless in its capacity to create. Much too, you have that capacity dormant within you, but you do not realize this as you are so caught up with what your eyes see and what your ears hear and what your hands touch. Very few of you understand the innate ability you have. It is dormant, that you can activate. You may activate changes in your genetic makeup so that the body will change and take form. Yes, this is very simple. From the perspective of knowing this, it is very difficult when you are so far into believing that the flesh has more reality to you than you do to yourself. The authority that was lost in your desire to survive, he's saying that the calamities that occurred cast great doubt. Why did these occur, though? Why did these calamities occur? You must understand the nature of doubt and fear. It structures matter very differently than the effects of what you would call freedom, or the understanding that you are a creating intelligence able to affect change in matter very deliberately and very specifically. Understanding this would make it easier for you to recognize that you do not have to remain subjective to the dictates of your body, but that your body will remain subjective to the dictates of your will. But to change your genetic expression requires not just an act of will, but an act of clarity, an act of authority. You can easily walk your body about. You can easily move your hands and feet. You can easily do things with the body. The only difference between the body and altering what you would call your DNA is the depth of understanding that you must acquire to know on that subtle level that you can instill a change in the DNA, the expression, what you call the genetic expression. You can affect that so that you can alter a heart and its expression, or a lung, or a nerve, or an organ, or a gland. You do understand from a scientific perspective that when the genetic expression is altered, even mechanically, that there is a very deliberate change in the expression of matter. Your existing sciences have done experiments on the animal beings to show that they could, just by the simple act of the process of interbreeding, were able to alter and change genetic expression. But this is not exclusive to mechanical and physical manipulation, but from the perspective of a will that is awakened, you can affect such change also. You may affect and change the genetic expression of your body if you understand the necessary prerequisite for the knowledge necessary. But it is not fundamentally different than opening and closing a hand. The difference is you are so embodied in the external world as having some form of greater authority over you than you do over it. That authority was mostly lost a long time ago. You see very limited examples of that with some of what you would call your mystics, the Eastern healers, those that understood the secrets of directing the energy, the spirit, to carry out this new expression. The conditions of healing are examples of where you will see, especially in conditions of what you call, you might call it magical healing, is simply one who understands their ability to simply re-instruct genetic expression from a state of disease to a state of health. As a result, changing genetic expression. But each and every one of you have this capacity, but do not understand it. You know that these mythical creatures, you know, they did not come around as simply stories. These were actual beings that understood how to alter and change their genetic expression. And so there was a much greater diversity in terms of what you would call living beings, physical beings, than there is currently today. Although there are a few that can still do this, but they are very far and few between. The act of healing, from the perspective of the timeline I existed in physically, was an understanding that there was an ability to change or influence the individual to alter their genetic expression. And all healing is based in this. All spiritual healing is based in this understanding that the one doing the healing and the one receiving the healing, one acts as the director of that expression, and the other one acts as the receiver that would carry that expression out. But there is a great opportunity emerging, but you do not have to mutilate yourselves in order to alter your genetic expression, but many of you do not want to put in the time and effort necessary for restoring yourself to the level of mastery that is required in order to alter the expression of your system genetically. But your DNA will follow your direction as equally as a hand or a foot will. But again, you are so captivated by what you are seeing with your physical eyes and hearing with your physical ears or experiencing with your physical touch that you have forgotten what it is behind all of that, what you are behind all of that is orchestrating that movement. You can direct the hand to move, but you are also directing many other things to participate in that action. While your genetic expression functions very similar, and your capacity to alter deliberately genetic expression is within all of you, not some of you, it is within all of you. What you call the fallen angels are those that they themselves had gotten so caught up in matter as being fundamentally more desirable than the process of creating. So they, by default and over many millennium, became seduced in matter exclusively, losing their original awareness that they could alter and change the conditions of matter as an act of will. There are but a very scant handful of those that understand the principle of where I speak, but even fewer that understand how to apply it. And those that do understand how to apply it are very, very much hidden from your sight and your hearing. They're the ones that, in fact, are behind the orchestrations of many of the changes you see occurring on your planet today. To begin to restore yourself to this capacity, you must first learn to recognize that you have mastery and command over your mind, command over your thoughts, command over your emotions, which in turn gives you command over the expression of matter, in this case, your physical body. But it takes effort for some of you who believe that the world around you has a greater validity over you than you yourself have over it. So there's not very many of you that want to take the time and effort necessary to understanding how to rearticulate your mind and your body into service of your will. Rather, you remain subjected to it. The capacity to do this is not as time-consuming as one might think. You may indeed learn to alter your DNA quite quickly if you can learn to get your mind and body into the position of subjectivity to you necessary for altering it at such a profound, simple, and intimate level. Do not underestimate the miracle of a step that you take or the miracle of a word that can be spoken through the body. You are commanding the flesh. And there is no difference between commanding the flesh to walk or talk or speak than there is to change any part of it, to direct it to follow your instructions. Many of you are trying to remember this now, but again, so many of you are electing for using outside means and agencies as an assertion of your mastery over the body, which simply takes that away from you. If you understand that turning to something outside of yourself to alter your genetic expression, to alter the way your body is to defer your own creative power over it. And yet you can do this, but you do not know you can do this. You do not know that you can assert that authority as you divert that to others. You place that authority in the hands of others. But within you is the authority to command the flesh, to serve you as you would have it serve you. These great ancient beasts that you call dragons and fairies and gnomes and centaurs and other what you would call mystical creatures are not so mystical at all, but were actually individuals capable of altering their genetic expression. An art that is, for the most part, lost to your civilized consciousness collectively, but not gone completely. It can be restored. But again, it requires great effort and meticulous concentration to establish that authority again so that the body would yield itself to you. And you see the ancient memories resurfacing in your modern civilization as what you call the transformation and transmutation, the desire to look like or be like other creatures. The ancient knowledge attempting to reassert itself. But again, you find yourself seeking to manipulate matter around you to establish an authority within yourself, and that will not work. You already have the authority within yourself. Learning to assert that authority is what you must begin to pursue. Time is very important, for the further you delve into the idea, the delusion that something outside of you will be able to articulate your expression better than you yourself can, the further you will get away from what you truly are and what you truly know, the more difficult it will be to continue the process of creation on this dimension as an effect of your consciousness rather than subjectivity to the conditions of matter themselves. Matter was created to yield itself to you, not for you to be subjective to it. Do you understand this? That matter was created to yield itself to you, not for you to be subjective to it. And so in the coming days and weeks, you will be receiving much information about how to restore yourself to that which is the truth of what you are, that you are a conscious entity that came here to delight in the process of creating, not simply to remain subjective to matter, but to assert an intelligent authority over it. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Sophia. Thank you for that super chat. I really appreciate it. Hi, Olena. Hi. Hello, Anne-Marie, Allison, Jacqueline. Wow. Oh, yes, I know. It's amazing. It's funny when he came and first said that to me, that this is something like all these mythological stories we hear. You know, these were effects of beings that were able to articulate their expression genetically. They were able to instruct DNA to function, to grow wings, to do things. You know, just like we're going to, you know, I think it's really straightforward. You know, we can open and close our hands. You know, what's the difference? He says the difference is that you must understand that the direction you give to the body from this level is very simplistic, as is the direction you can give to your genetic expression when you understand your communion with it. That is, you should be able to commune with it as you commune with your hand. You simply know that it does this. Well, so too will your, what you call your DNA, yield itself in a similar fashion to your awareness. Question from Sophia. How do we look after or work through our mitochondria? He says, this is a delightful question. You are already at the beginning step. The fact that you can open and close a hand is the most obvious assertion of your will over matter. To go to the deeper levels, that is, the levels that are not of the gross, obvious external function, but to go into that place, you would call it a place of meditation, where your awareness has defined that the body would be open and receptive to you, that the activities of mind are placed in abeyance so that they do not interfere, so that the mind does not interfere with your intended manifestation. The moment the mind and body are in that place of openness to your awareness, you can move even to the cellular level first. I encourage you to do this, to move first to the experience of individual cells. While you, in the movement of a hand, are directing many millions of them, but can you control but a single cell? Can you go into it? Can you allow your awareness to move to that point of consciousness where what you call the mitochondria exist, where they will yield themselves the same way your hand does to you, but there must be nothing in mind, nothing in body that can interfere with your intended direction to this structure, this physical structure. Understand that what you call mitochondria is still a physical structure. And again, you're still working with that. But that in turn will also begin to affect the larger substance. When you connect to a single element of what you call mitochondria, then this conception of what you now know of as a holographic consciousness can come into play, where you recognize the accessing of one mitochondria simultaneously allows you to align and connect to all mitochondria. Again, you will understand when you are able to assert such an authority over it, for you will experience a change to some degree in the experience of what you call your body. You'll experience the vibrational medium of your body will change. The simplest way to get to that awareness is that when you articulate the body to breathe in a very specific fashion, and you're able to release the air from the body, and you can feel that the body relaxes, you are asserting a change over it. When you begin to experience that on a much more general and profound level, to go deep into the substructure of your mitochondria, getting down to the level of the subatomic level of what makes those up, that you can go even there and direct them. But first, you understand that you are able to move and direct millions of your cells with that movement. If you go into the holographic element of your single cell and you get access to the coding within there, and you can direct it to, say, improve something on your face, to alter something on your face, to improve your heart. You can go into the mitochondria that exist within your heart. Contrary to what your science tells you, you may restore any part of that body from the perspective of the utilization of your will, inducing a change energetically in the instructions given to those cells in any particular point of the body or in the body generally. But this place, going within and communing, directing very subtly, the consciousness of a particular organ or nerve or gland and come into that place and know that you are subtly there with it. You see, your awareness is not bound by dimensions of time and space the way your body is. So your awareness may brought down even to the subatomic level. Your awareness may be expanded to the galactic level. Your awareness may be expanded to the level of your physical body. You are not limited in that sense as a consciousness. So to bring your awareness down to the very core of that, what you call mitochondria, you will access all of them, for they all are designed to work together under instruction. So you must simply access the one and begin to direct it. Say you have a condition of the heart and you go into the mitochondria of a single cell in the heart and you say to it, express beautifully, express vibrantly, express powerfully, express with beautiful rhythm. And you feel that consciousness responding to your command. When that command is felt as a response to the command, you'll experience the manifestation of that particular organ or cell or group of cells responding to you, much the same way as your hand responds to you when you direct it. So too will any organ in the body do the same thing when you establish that communion with it. Wow, great question. Thank you so much, Sophia. Where are we over here? Yeah, we're in for so much this week, guys. Question from Daniela. I saw your palace during astral travel. William suggested I connect with you again to receive your teachings. What is your advice to me? He's saying establish the results in your mind first. Live them in your mind to see them in the world. To truly walk among your dream in your own mind is to bring it into this realm. To truly embrace your dream within yourself. Many of you are seeking to try and make something outside of you happen in order for you to feel the result internally, but it is the other way around. It must be established within you for it to be established around you. And then you understand the chain of causation from this, that which is within is without. And this is the only way. Many of you have this in reverse, where you are seeking to establish something without in order to feel something established within, and this creates great confusion. For the only place that you have authority in truth is within you. All political machinations for many civilizations that have come and gone have discovered the fallacy to thinking that the assertion of control over the world around them will give them dominion over it, but that is not the case. It has never been the case, and it never will be the case. You must understand that dominion within always leads to dominion without. And one does not need to assert authority over others to establish this truth, this experience, this reality. Wow, thank you, Daniela. Got time for one more question. Wow, wonderful. Yeah, remember to give this video a thumbs up, guys. Take a moment to do that. Give the video a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please remember to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when we come live again. Let's talk a bit about what we, yes, I understand. He says, the only way you'll understand the truth of what I say is not by the words you hear, but by the practical application of what it is that is being said. Go within, leave the world behind you. Go within and establish yourself as the authority in your own flesh, and let your flesh know that you are home to direct it, no longer be subjective to it. You will know the truth of these things. It is not by my words or the words of others that you will know the truth. Although it may point you in the direction, you must walk the journey to know what the destination is. Wow, thank you. Hi, Elena. Question from Elena. have I had a past life with you? He's saying many of you are here because you know you have had lifetimes with me as other embodiments as well. Yes. Cool. Just do it. Okay, so let's see. So Wednesday, I just want to tell you what's coming up this week. Wednesday, June the 20th, we got Aphrodite coming on. She wants to talk about what is love really. And I'm really curious about what she's going to have to say about what love is really. And it's amazing, you know, that these beings have existed through time and space. They have. And we're so caught up in the fantasies of our own civilization. You know, we know these things exist. I mean, everybody knows that these mystical creatures exist, and many still do in very isolated places around the world today. And there's been a concerted effort to try and find them. And I like what Hermes said a little earlier, where he's saying that there are still beings on this planet that understand this, very small handful, that understand that the manipulation of matter is a matter of creation, their own consciousness affecting it. This Friday, July the 1st, Gaia is coming on, and she wants us to talk about prepare for what may come, and then she's got in brackets restore love. Prepare for what may come, and that's this Friday. So I hope you'll join us for Wednesday and Friday with Aphrodite and Gaia. There are so many changes happening on this planet today, and I'm excited to be part of this. We also have a mediumship program that if you want to learn how to connect with your guides and your angels, the ascended masters, these multidimensional beings, these star families that are here, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know we are not the only species in this galaxy. And there are beings far more evolved than we are that have no time for us whatsoever. And there's others that are here to assist us. Not the Pleiadians are few, the Arcturians, the Lemurians. There's other beings that are here, the Lyrans, that are here to assist us. And you can learn to tap in them. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. All the links are in the description box below the videos, any of my videos. And you can register for the course, which begins July the 8th. So I hope you'll join us for that. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, Elena, I saw you signed up. That's wonderful. Looking forward to it. 102. So I want to say thanks, guys, for coming out today. Without you showing up and without your support, this would not be able to happen as frequently and often as it does. And remember, share this information with other people. We are not meant to be victims of our existence. We're meant to be creators of it. And they keep telling me that repeatedly. We are creator beings. We are not just human animals. We are not just a body surviving in an environment. We're a soul manifesting conditions of existence. They repeat that over and over and over again. And my guardian angel John keeps telling me, remind people that emotion is the fifth state of energy, and that it coordinates and organizes the manifestations of all other levels of energy that we can perceive on this dimension: plasmas, liquids, solids, gases, and subatomic particles are organized by the flow of emotion that we direct. Thank you for that super chat. I really appreciate that. Is that Yoda? Is that the name I'm seeing, Yoda? Yanis, Yoda. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your super chat contribution. I look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday with Aphrodite, and you know what is love really. And have yourselves an amazing day. There's just so much coming. For those, I'm getting lots of feedback from people, especially women. They're feeling really tired and low vibrational and low energy. I'm told iron. You want to look at increasing your iron intake. See a medical doctor if you need to get advice on how to do that. But there are irons you can get over the counter that are very strong in dosage. And you can moderate your own dosage, but talk to your doctor to make certain you're doing the right thing. But these ascension energies are really accelerating our molecular function of our body, so we get depleted of things. So make certain you're taking all the supplementations you need for the body. I want to wish you all a wonderful and a joyful day, and I'll look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Much love, everybody, and thank you so much for coming out today. Bye for now.